Hi everybody, I'm Jim Shore. Today we're at my studio here in South Carolina, and I wanted to show you a new piece that I've recently completed primarily for our friends at Costco. We love the partnership with Costco, and this piece I think will be a sort of a flagship piece for them, and for that, the beginnings of that relationship with them. Okay. Obviously, this is a Santa Claus. It is oversized from what I normally do because this particular piece is over 20 inches tall. One of the features, I guess, about this that's noteworthy is the fact that anything that we do that's large like this, we know that people, well, they'll use it as a decor piece or a decorative piece, but they could conceivably use it outdoors. If you're having a seasonal party, or if you like things to decorate your front door and that kind of stuff. Well, we put a UV inhibitor on the surface of all of these large pieces for that very reason. That way, it sort of slows down and stops the fading process that happens oftentimes when things are exposed to sunlight. Now, for all of you who don't know my style or me, let me explain how I go about designing this kind of subject. Typically, I've done hundreds of Santa Clauses. So usually Santa Clauses are red and green and white, and that sort of thing. Early on, I started doing these pieces in sort of a folk art style, whereby I use a lot of folk art elements, even though those elements might not necessarily be anything relevant to the subject or to the season or anything else. So I've got rose mauling inspired designs. I've got quilt patterns, and I use a whole variety and a mixture of folk art elements. And I leave the surface, as you can see, intentionally faceted, which is created by the carving and that sort of thing. Now, what that does is our painting process, and this is all painted by hand, by a group of very, very talented artisans that I've assembled to do all this handwork. So we do layering painting with high density lacquer, and one of the things we do is we do a lot of glazing and dry brushing and that sort of thing, so that the red is not just red. It's a series of layers of paint that end up having this sort of a visual texture, if you will. As you can see, the ridges are more pronounced, and it makes kind of a visual lattice that I think is very interesting. Another feature of this piece is this candle. Now, this candle is it's like a small votive. You can remove it. It's held in by a magnet, and the on-off switch is on the bottom, so you can turn it on and off, and then you put it right back in there. Now, the unique thing about that is it's got an internal timer, and it will cycle 6 hours on, 18 hours off, and then it'll go back on for 6 hours, and it goes that over and over again. So you switch it on at the appropriate time, and it'll take care of the rest of it on its own. So I think that's an interesting feature. As a decor piece or a decorator piece, what we like to do is we like to take a large piece like this and use it sort of like the centerpiece of an expanded decoration, whereby we'll use additional pieces that like some of my smaller sculptural pieces. It might be reindeers or sleighs or elves or that sort of thing, along with ornaments, whether it's my ornaments or it's store-bought ornaments, glass balls and that sort of thing, the fake snow and the greenery and all that sort of thing. So by the end of the day, when you get this all put together, you could have a centerpiece and and an accompanying decoration that would fit your mantle or down the center of your table when you have your Christmas meals, your parties and that sort of thing. Or it could greet your your visitors by putting it on the credenza in the foyer. It's your choice. But it's a beautiful piece for that use. In other words, it's a centerpiece. It's a kind of a showstopper, and it ends up being as a motif piece. I mean, as a decor piece. The motif of this is I think really, really effective. So that about wraps that up. Now, like I said, this is a piece that we're doing for our friends at Costco, and I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holiday, and have fun shopping here. So we'll talk to you later about some other subjects that are coming down the pike. Bye-bye.